This is insane. It is huge. This is hail now. That start with sleet. This is hail.
I hope it doesn't crack our windshield.
I know. We got to get going.
Really gotta get going.
Hello and welcome to JK EV. As always, I'm Joe.
I'm Christina.
We are about to embark on a 4,000-mile road trip. Crazy.
This is so exciting. Let's get started.
We're charged up to 90%. Time to unplug and see what the navigation says is our first stop. Probably nothing. As I've said many times, the most fun part of owning this car, and I say fun sarcastically, is the navigation. So let's put in Estes Park, Colorado as our first destination. And there we go. And let's see if it even can find a route.
Please drive to the route shown. Attention, the route contains time-restricted roads.
This is an improvement since our last trip. But never mind, I spoke too soon. It wants us to go to a 7.2 kilowatt level 2 station and charge for 10 hours. Are you kidding me, Volkswagen? You need to fix this. This is why we are going to be using a better route planner for most of the drive, which we'll show you shortly. But now let's get on the road and get going. As we were saying earlier, when we first got in the car, the Volkswagen navigation system is just pointless for road trips. It struggles even around town. So what we are trying to use on this trip is an app called a Better Route Planner. Now, I did a more in-depth discussion about this app with regular EV Dad on our podcast that's not a podcast. We'll be sure to link that episode up above. But we were able to pre-plan our trip. We basically told the app, the website actually, betterrouteplanner.com, we said where we're starting from, home, and then we are tonight trying to get to, well, not tonight, but tomorrow trying to get to Estes Park, Colorado, go to Rocky Mountain National Park. So it just calculates the stops ahead of time for us. We were able to save those to our profile, and then now on Apple CarPlay, we can just launch the route from here. And as you see, it has the estimated battery percentage remaining based on what we told it we started the trip with. It'll say what we should get to our destination with, as well as having traffic, driving directions, and every charging stop built in along the way. So it's a really good app. We're looking forward to seeing how it holds up over the course of this trip. So another 4,000-mile trip for us. This time we're headed to Glacier National Park in Montana. As you may know or may expect, the Dakotas, Wyoming are not places you want to go with an electric vehicle. So we're going to head south through Colorado, and then we're kind of going to whittle our way north through western Wyoming, and it should be quite an experience because there's a couple destination chargers we're relying on just to even make it. So stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned, everyone.
So I'm not sure if this is going to be, I think 3 or 4 episodes, we'll see, but it should be another fun, epic road trip with the ID.4. Geneseo, Illinois. You may remember the stop from our last trip a couple months ago. This was the famous first stop we had of our epic road trip that almost caused us to just turn around and go home. We spent over an hour on the phone with Electrify America, but thankfully this time I pre-activated charger number 4 since that's what the news on PlugShare said to do. We plugged in at 14%, getting great speeds. Everything's working. I'm a happy camper. Volkswagen's looking great. We promised to do our best to keep the bugs off the windshield as much as possible this trip. But it's always nice to see it all clean when we leave. We're charged up to 60%, which is probably good, but we've been making good speeds on the highway, and there's a little bit of a headwind, so we're gonna try to get to 65%, and I think we'll unplug. Weather is perfect compared to our last trip. If you remember, it was raining 45 degrees in June, but now it's mid-70s, light breeze. Beautiful day for a road trip. We kind of want to get some food soon, but unfortunately, Hardee's is definitely closed. There's a Culver's, like a little bit of a walk, but I don't really want to walk that far. I know that there's going to be better food options down the road, so I think we're just going to tough it out and wait another hour and a half and then eat at the next stop. All right, we're charged up to 65%. Time to stop the charge and get unplugged. Next stop is Williamsburg, Iowa. It's about 108 miles down the road. All right, let's go. It was a pretty good charging session, although it was never really hit peak speed, but it worked better than the last time we were here, so can't complain. Truck stop. We've been there before on some of our gas trips. Pretty cool inside, actually. So we were kind of torn. We were thinking of pushing it all the way to the world's largest truck stop here in Iowa. They just installed some new DC fast chargers. However, they're 42 cents a kilowatt charge point units. So very expensive, and I think they give 62.5 kilowatts of speed, so not nearly as much speed as we could have gotten from the Electrify America chargers we used in Geneseo. So I think going to Geneseo was a better option, as it allowed us to get faster charging, and it was free. But now this would be a good time to show how this A Better Route Planner is working. So here's the factory navigation. I have it input to just go to the next charger we're heading to, which is Williamsburg, Iowa. As you can see, it shows that we are 56 minutes away, 63 miles. We should be good on range, but this thing works pretty well on flat land, just charger to charger across like Iowa, for example. However, we've run into issues when we get into the mountains, as we've demonstrated on some of our prior videos. It doesn't calculate elevation properly. So this trip, we're trying out this app called A Better Route Planner. It's free, and it's on the App Store for iPhones and Androids. But we click on it here. We have it programmed to go to our next charger. When we left Geneseo, Illinois, we told the app that we had 65% battery, so it estimates based on elevation, etc., that we're down to 39%. So if we do a quick check on our charge, we're at 42%. So we've outperformed the app's expectations slightly, but still pretty good, close enough. And that tells us, we can definitely use up some extra range buffer with speed. Some of the great things about this app is you can customize so much. You can create an account, which is free. They do have a subscription model for $5 a month if you want some extra added features, such as like the CarPlay feature right here. However, in most cases, we just actually print off or take screenshots of our route expectations as well. So whichever you prefer is great. We're able to put in the vehicle we have, battery size, what our expected driving speed is, what the wind conditions are. They also, part of the subscription model is they'll do the wind calculating for you. it's just a really comprehensive app that does a really good job of calculating what the actual consumption will be, a lot better than the Volkswagen will, and even a lot of other automakers out there. There's even a step further you can go. I think it's like a USB dongle that you can plug into your car. It's called EV Notify, and that will allow you to actually, for the app and the car to talk to each other, so the car will continue to give live updates on the actual state of charge, so this consumption prediction up here will continue to be updated. For us, we didn't have time to buy that and try it out. We're more than happy just to keep flipping back and forth, and if we start developing too big of a buffer, we can burn it off with speed. And if it starts looking like our arrival percentage will be too low, like right now we're expected to arrive with 5%, then we can just slow down a little bit and we should arrive just fine. So it's a really helpful app to make EV road tripping a little bit more relaxing and a little less range anxiety. We are here in Geneseo, Illinois. I just activated the charger with the app. It's initializing. Last time we came here, we took a walk across the street to McDonald's to get some food, and I'm thinking there might be some deja vu tonight because we haven't eaten yet, and it's after 10 o'clock, so another McDonald's meal. Hopefully better food tomorrow. Hopefully better food starts opening up around some of these chargers, since there's going to be lots of people looking to kill a half hour at a time. But let's see what kind of speeds we're getting here. Plugged in at 10%, ramping up to the full 125 kilowatts, looking good. Time to go take a walk for some Mickey D's. How you feeling? How was your nap?
It was fine. I'm hungry.
Just fine?
Yeah.
Leave me alone. So we were at McDonald's sitting down, trying to enjoy our food, but then we got a notification. And here it is. Charging session error. So we had to run across the street, and I guess we're gonna try charger 3 out. Hopefully that works. All right, charger number 3 plugged in, initializing charge. Let's see what we got. Hearing some clicks. Looks like we're about to start up. Let's see what kind of speeds we can get on this charger. Slowly ramping up. Here we go. The last charger was humming along at full speed, and then I'm not sure what caused that error, but you know, there's still bugs, unfortunately. It looks like this is ramping up to full speed of what we'd expect at this point of the pack at 40%, 110 kilowatts. So now to go enjoy the rest of our fancy dinner.
Mickey D's.
The goods.
And coffee, of course.
And coffee. Because I'm tired. And just like that, we enjoyed our 5-star meal out on the patio. I do have to say, the weather is absolutely beautiful, though.
It's gorgeous.
And so we're up to 62%. Which is more than enough because the next charger is Waukee, Iowa, which only is 102 miles away. So we're gonna go ahead and stop, and we'll be good to go to the next one. contactor's just clicked, charge is initiating, and check this out for the first time in the wild, another ID.4. This looks like a Pro base spec. Looks great. I love this gray color. They're charging up right now, probably enjoying another amazing road trip just like us. Let's see what kind of speeds we're getting. As expected for pulling in at 10%, we're getting the full 125 kilowatts right now. Let's go take a look at how the stats have been so far. As you can see, charging up right now, getting full speed. So far this trip, we've gone 360 miles. We're getting 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour. So could be better, but we're making great time with speed. The last leg of the trip in particular was 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. So, I mean, we're doing pretty good. I'm happy with the progress.
As you can see here, Joe is cleaning up the bugs, doing his due diligence here. Make sure for our viewers it's nice and clean. So, he's doing good at going back and forth. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Alright guys, please like and subscribe.
We are all charged up to 66%, so it's time to stop. This ID is still charging at 85%, so hopefully he's not going down the same route as us, because hopefully he watches our videos and sees you got to learn how to charge your hop. Christina's snoozing because she's going to have the graveyard shift as always. She's the night owl. So people ask, what is charger hopping? Well, in most cases, because these chargers are so close to the highway, instead of spending 45 minutes at this location, we can spend 20 minutes here, drive an hour and a half down the road, spend 20 minutes there, and just keep doing the same process over and over again. Plus, it keeps our drive shorter. We're only driving an hour and a half, charging 20 minutes. We don't have these very long stretches of charging to 90% and then driving 2+ hours. Quite frankly, after an hour and a half, I'm excited to get out of the car for a couple minutes, hit the bathroom, sometimes get a coffee or whatever, but that's charger hopping. Now, in some cases, if the chargers down the road are slower, that can make a big difference where it might make sense to charge longer here. However, these Electrify America stations are typically all the same speeds, the 150s, 350 kilowatt units. So they're, as long as you're going from EA to EA station, charger hopping is the way to go. Anyway, that was my ramble. Now it's time to unplug, as we're already up to almost 70%. So let's get going to Council Bluffs, Iowa. It's about, I think it's 117 miles down the road. The roads have been nice and clear, so hopefully that trend keeps going, because we like these nice open roads. Let's get going. What a crazy lightning storm that was coming through here. I don't know how much I got on camera, but I'm just glad that we made it here. We didn't get caught in too much of the rain, so we didn't lose too much efficiency. Plugged in at 8%, ramping up right now. Just initiated the charge. I think I'm going to be hiding in the car for most of this charge, because I think this rain's going to catch up to us, that we've been like just barely getting ahead of it. Shows how perfect timing we left the last charger at. awesome speeds right here, full 125 kilowatts, but pretty stressful driving, not knowing if the rain was going to catch up to us and really hurt our efficiency. So we've only been here 8 minutes, and we already have enough to make it to the next charger, which is Lincoln, Nebraska. But as you can see, we're still getting full speed, over 125 kilowatts. That's because I think a little bit of heat loss, maybe the AC is running, so the pack is ultimately only taking 125. Either way, there's no reason to unplug and leave now when we're getting full speed. We'll wait until it tapers at around 35–40%, then unplug. Then we'll just get to Lincoln with a little more charge. But again, we're gonna have to charge one way or another, so might as well stay here while the charge is going great. And just like that, as I get carried away on my phone in the car, we're already up to 45%, so we're gonna go ahead and stop the charge. Unplug, head down the road. It's only like 63 miles to Lincoln, Nebraska. We'll charge there for a little bit, and then we'll be on to Grand Island. Christina's going to take these legs so I can get some sleep. Let's go.
Charged up to about 61%. That should be more than enough to get us to our next destination. All right, we'll see you at the next stop at Grand Island. I took over the grave shift. Joe is sleeping right now. We arrived at 40% at Grand Island, and we are at a 350 kilowatt charger right now. So we're gonna be here for a little bit, and then we will move on to the next destination. Thank God I had my coffee. Otherwise I would not be so happy right now, but I'm in a good mood and I'm ready for a great day. Stay tuned.
Good morning from Lexington, Nebraska. Christina's still snoozing. Big shout out to her. She took the graveyard shift, got us from Council Bluffs, Iowa to Lincoln, Nebraska to Grand Island. I just drove Grand Island to Lexington here. Sorry we didn't have much video to show in between there. I was snoozing and she was focused on driving, and it's dark out there, wasn't too much to show, but as always we still will provide all the data. I think she still filmed a little video at each charging stop, so we'll make sure to include that. Right now we're charging up on charger number 4. Had to activate it with the NFC. It didn't activate with the app, but still working great. Full speed right now. Plugged in at 10%. So I think I'm gonna go take a walk to the restroom, and by the time I'm back, we should be good to go. The charging is tapered. We're at 51%, so we're gonna go ahead and shut it down because it's only 60 miles to the next stop. So obviously we have plenty, but you know, as long as we're getting good speeds, it's always good to let the charger go. So we're unplug. Next stop is North Platte, Nebraska, and then after that will be Ogallala, Nebraska. On how the trip plan is going. We have 49 miles left on the guessometer. and we have 9 miles left to go. So we still have the same 40 miles of buffer that we thought we would have when we left Lexington. Now let's see how a Better Route Planner is going. Better Route Planner says we should be around 19% right now with a 14% arrival. Okay, so let's check back and see what we are at. So we're at 21%, so we're beating a Better Route Planner by a couple percent. Always better to be beating it than the other direction, otherwise, well, that's how you end up stranded. But I'm glad to see that this is working out pretty well at both the car and Better Route Planner are relatively in sync. Now, later today, when we go through the mountains, we'll do the same thing. We'll put a destination on the other side of the mountains in both apps and see which one's more accurate. We are here at North Platte, Nebraska, charging up right. We plugged in at 18%, getting peak speeds right now. Next charger is only 55 miles down the road to Ogallala. So as soon as this one's back from the bathroom, which looks like right now, I think we'll unplug in about, as long as we're still getting full speed, I think we'll sit around for a couple more minutes. So probably around 40% we'll unplug and then drive 50 miles down the road and do it again. And another thing is the car is getting completely covered in bugs. It was pretty nasty last night. We got some rain and still didn't do the job. It's still covered. Windshield's getting dirty, but we promise the next stop has windshield washer fluid, so we'll be sure to clean that. Which also is a good time to mention, if you like clean windows, subscribe, because we will provide clean windows on this trip. Here in Ogallala, Nebraska. This is one of the really slow, brutal charge. I should specify, not slow as in charging speed. Charging speed was great. But this is one that I touch the screen and you'll see it just takes forever to respond. I don't even know if the screen works. Also, who's this character putting stickers on these chargers? Anyway, we're at 86%. We had to do a really deep charge here because our next stop is 130 miles down the road in Fort Morgan, Colorado. So, time to unplug and hit the road. These old ABB units desperately need to be replaced. Highlights of owning the ID.4 though, 46 kilowatt speeds, still at 86%. Just a monster. Also forgot to specify, we plugged in at 14%, charged up to 87%. We were here for 38 minutes. It was a long stop, but it's necessary to get to the next spot. Good morning. We're back here for round 2 of ID4 versus a Better Route Planner. The first time we tested this out, the ID and the a Better Route Planner app were within 1 or 2% of each other, and that's because we did it in Nebraska on flat ground. Right now we're going from Ogallala, Nebraska to Fort Morgan, Colorado. That's a 130-mile stretch we're covering. So at this point, we have 102 miles to go till the charger, according to the car, and we have 144 miles on the guessometer, so 42 miles of buffer according to the car. Now, the car is at 74%. So if we go to the A Better Route Planner thinks we would have already been down to 71%. That's because I think we went through some construction that saved us a little bit. But the A Better Route Planner thinks we're going to end up with 7% when we get there. So that shows A Better Route Planner is doing a better job of calculating the elevation change, as well as, I believe there might be some wind. I didn't check the windy app yet, but that's why we had to do a deeper charge to 87% just to go 130 miles, because it's a steady climb from Ogallala all the way to Fort Morgan. Now we're a mile away. We have 15% left, which according to the guessometer is 31 miles. By comparison, A Better Route Planner thinks that we're down to 3%. So another case of the Volkswagen actually outperforming A Better Route Planner. I'm quite surprised on this one, especially with the elevation change to get here. Almost a doomsday scenario. Check this out. We are plugged in to the CHAdeMO unit, which is very sluggish, and at some point will show us that we're getting good speeds. But check this out. Here's charger number 2. Screen's dead. Here's charger number 4. Screen's dead. Not sure if maybe if we called Electrify America, they might be able to initiate a charge. Maybe it's just a screen issue. And here's charger number 3, unavailable. So it worked out today, but as more and more of these cars are on the road, this could be a potential real bad backup when situations like this happen. Or even worse, if this charger quits, then there's no option. There's nothing else in this town. And right on cue, there's the charging speed, 91 kilowatts right now. Doing pretty good. I think we're gonna charge up to closer to 70 or 80. So we're gonna go ahead and buy a couple things in the Walmart. We'll be back. So we got our essentials. We're charged up to 60%, which is enough. Our next stop's gonna be Longmont, Colorado. We were unsure if we were gonna try to push it all the way to Estes Park and charge more here, but instead we're just gonna hit the road, go to Longmont. Hope there's not a bunch of Lyft Kia Niros there, since that's what is very common in Denver. And then we'll be off to Estes Park for a late lunch. Longmont, Colorado, just north of Denver. Christina took the last shift on, got us up here.
Yep.
At another Walmart. These chargers are really old. I don't think I've ever seen one that looks like these. Look how low the handles are. I don't think I've ever noticed one where it's like actually that low. But we're getting full speed, so I can't complain there. We figured we were gonna either push it all the way to Estes Park or come here and take one more free charge before going there, because I think it's 42 cents a kilowatt hour to charge in Estes Park. So, you know, got to use this Electrify America while we got it. So we're still here in Longmont, Colorado. We're charged up to 77%. Thing is, though, we're still getting 70 kilowatts at that percentage. All of our chargers the rest of the day tonight are all 62 kilowatt max chargers. So This one's free and it's giving faster speeds than we'll even get down the road. So it makes sense to charge at least to 80%, knowing we're going to use that energy at some point. So we're at 85%, or near as makes no difference. Still getting 57 kilowatts, but now we know there's faster speeds down the road and we're starving. So time to unplug and head down the road. Here at the top of the Alpine Meadows Visitor Center of Rocky Mountain National Park at 11,800 feet. Check out these views. Absolutely epic. Thunderstorm rolling in, and it just makes the scenery even that much more intense. There's even snow up here. So this one's freezing. She didn't want to stay by the edge anymore. It's starting to rain. And I think this is a great spot to end episode 1. We made it to the top of the mountain. The Volkswagens got here with, I believe, about 45 to 50%. Oh my gosh, it's cold. But please like and subscribe. And episode 2 should be even more epic because we have some stretches that I don't even know if we can make. Let's go. Thanks again for watching. We made it to the car. It's literally sleeting right now. But what an amazing way to end episode 1.